Hello, everyone. Welcome to our. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new Cool Kids live stream review of M Night Shyamalan's newest film, Knock at the Cabin. Um, if you watch our reviews, you know who we are, so no need for introduction. So, all right. So I'll go ahead and start, I guess, since there's no need for introductions. All right, so this is M Night Shyamalan's newest film. Now, when it comes to Shyamalan films, they can definitely be a mixed bag for me. They can range from being really good, like The Sixth Sense or his Unbreakable trilogy, to something so bad it's hilarious, like The Happening, or a complete abomination, like The Last Airbender. With his newest film, Knock at the Cabin, I wasn't sure what to think of it after leaving the theater. However, I did end up giving it a second, watching it a second time, like earlier today, and I started to understand a little bit more and be able to appreciate things about it a little bit more than I did before. Um, and there were some things that I liked and some things that kind of annoyed me. Um, I will say that this is overall a decent watch, but nothing great. Let me start with the positives. All the actors do a pretty good job. Dave Bautista does really good with his performance, and same can be said for the other actors like Rupert Grint and some of the other actors. I can't remember their names at the top of my head. Um, the cinematography is well done. The score does give a unnerving and creepy tense to it. It's well composed, and it does have some unnerving and creepy atmosphere. And I also do like the premise of this movie. It's pretty much like, would you sacrifice one you love for the sake of humanity? Like, which would you prefer? Well, if you were in this situation, what would you do? However, I did have some annoyances for this. I know that there's a lot of this film does have a lot of Shyamalan written on it. Um, Pretty much a lot of the dialogue does feel very Shyamalan. There's a lot of, even though I said the cinematography is done fine, but I mean there were some shots that felt a little weird to me. But then again, that's typical. And for some reason, people have to whisper in an M Night Shyamalan movie. We got to make sure that our parents upstairs, we don't wake our parents upstairs. Things like that. And another thing that that I thought would bother me is that this film is rated R, but I felt like it didn't go really far enough because it seems like a lot of the brutality happens off screen or something. Maybe you do see a body, and maybe there's a little bit of blood, but it didn't. I felt like it didn't need to be like, if you're not going to go that far. I felt like why even bother having it be R rated if it's things like that. Because it's like it just all happens, like it's either there's cutaways or there's obscure imagery, things like that. And I felt the ending was a bit predictable. I was thinking that the four strangers were going to represent the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And I kind of felt like who they were going to sacrifice in the end. I kind of felt like it was going. Also, another thing that bothered me is that I felt like there were some moments where it felt a little preachy at spots. I mean, I hated how it was like shoving the whole people. This couple is being treated like an outcast because they are a same-sex couple, and they always keep bringing attention to that. I found that to be a little annoying. I mean, I don't have a problem with same-sex couples in movies and all, but just don't have it be so much focused on it. It just seems so forced. But I mean, overall, despite my issues, it's still a decent watch. It's not the best Shyamalan film in 20 years, like many people are saying. I mean, I'll still take Split and hell, even Glass over this. But but it's definitely not a bad film. I will certainly take it over like old The Happening and the fucking Last Airbender movie. Fuck. If you're curious about this movie, maybe you can go to a matinee at best. And my rating would happen to be, I was kind of torn between a 6 and a 6.5, but fuck it. I guess I'll go 6.5. Okay.
Also, Rob, Phantom Zone yourself for fucking mentioning that cretinistic pile of shit known as The Last Airbender. Fuck you.
Which you just mentioned.
Yeah, you just mentioned it.
I couldn't not mention it because I was yelling at him for fucking mentioning it. You can Phantom Zone me too.
The
I'll
Phantom
take
Zone yourself.
the Phantom Zone both of us.
Get the fuck out of here.
Welcome back to our review.
We're off to a good start. All right, so anyway.
Absolutely.
M Night Shyamalan movies are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. You'll either get a great movie like The Sixth Sense or Split, or you'll get terrible movies like The Happening or The Last Airbender. I wasn't sure what to expect from Knock at the Cabin after watching the trailers and reading the premise. I didn't know if I was going to get good Shyamalan, but I was also hoping for unintentionally funny Shyamalan. But after seeing the movie, I was surprised. This was surprisingly well done. First off, I liked the characters and their performances. I really loved Erica, Andrew, and Wen. They had great chemistry together. They felt like a real family. I loved their bond. Dave Bautista is fantastic as Leonard. I know he wants to be taken seriously as an actor now, and he proves it in this movie. He really is great. And Rupert Grint, Nika Bird, Abby Quinn, they're great as well. Rupert Grint especially actually had me laughing, whether that was supposed to be intentional or unintentional. I found it interesting that with the exception of Redmond, these people, they're not villains. They're not horrible people. They were all just brought together. They're scared. The movie is exceptionally well shot, although I do have an issue with some shots. I didn't have any issues with the pacing. For an hour and 40 minutes, it moved very quick. The tone is very tense. It's very unsettling. And the big reveal, while I called it from the beginning, was pretty clever. The movie's not perfect, though. Some of Shyamalan's weaknesses do pop up in this movie. I noticed in his movies, he likes to use one specific shot over and over again. With Old, you'll have a character like up close, and two people are behind him, and then the camera will just pan over. With this movie, he loves to use the wide angle lens, like the extreme close up, like the, what's your name? What's your favorite movie? Make a choice. Where'd you get that scar on your lip? Just after a while, it got kind of annoying because he just kept using it over and over and over again. And I'm like stop this! You're too close. Back up, please. And the actors, yes, they do a good job. The stilted delivery and on-the-nose dialogue from his movies is still here. I mean, it's not along the lines of, what's your name? What's your age? What's your occupation? Or, come on, you two. We're not getting any older. But it's still, he still writes these people as if they're not people. Like, they act like robots or they act like aliens when they speak. I am sick of forced diversity in movies. Yes, I'm for diversity. I don't like it when it's forced. And this movie, the diversity in this is very shoved in, and I can't stand that. It does feel super preachy in areas, which is another one of his weaknesses. And the ending was what played a little too safe. I've never read the book, but I looked up the ending to the book. And I'm shocked, even with the R rating, M. Night still didn't have the balls to actually adapt it. And especially with the R rating, you should have taken advantage of that, but you didn't. But overall, despite the flaws, this was surprisingly good. It's worth seeing. While I can't put it up there with The Sixth Sense, Unbreakables, Split, or even Signs, I'm glad M. Night delivered a solid movie after the underwhelming and dumb Old. However, I don't think it's gonna last long, because sometimes I notice when he'll make a good movie, he'll make one or two good movies, and then he'll go back to the Shyamalan slump. So hopefully that's not the case. But I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, if you'll excuse me, someone is upset. I'm going to calm them down with a math riddle.
Okay. Before I go ahead, before I move on to Rome's, I'm just gonna say hi to Zach and Austinator and Dylan. So, hey guys. All right. Rome?
What's good? So I'm not a big M Night Shyamalan fan. It's been a long time since I've seen any good movies he's done, which is why my expectation was really low, and I was really surprised at how good this movie was. I really liked the movie a lot because I had low expectations, but the performances in this movie, as of what Robs and Devin has said, really carried the movie. Dave Bautista, Jonathan Groff, Ben Eldridge, even the little Wen, the actress played Wen, all did a great job. I think my favorite moments was a lot of the beginning stuff, especially with Dave Bautista and Wen and Jonathan Groff's character Eric and Ben Eldridge, who played Andrew. Their relationship, you really bought that they were a married couple who really loved each other. They had this family that they really loved and appreciate. Everything that it was pure love. So this was a movie about do you sacrifice your loved one to save the whole world? What do you do in this situation? I really like the psychological part of this movie. I think that the things I didn't like about this movie, it was very predictable. The last 30, 35 minutes I thought was very predictable. They played it very safe. If I forgot that the movie was rated R, it felt like a PG-13 movie than being a rated R, where as what Devin and Rob has mentioned is that they could have done a whole lot more with this movie than what it was. If you're a Dave Bautista fan, this is a movie you should go and check out. I think it's probably one of the best performances he's given as an actor in any movie he's done in recent memory. My score for this movie is a 7 out of 10. Up in New England, if you have a showcase, go check it out on a Tuesday, $5 Tuesday.
Or before John goes, you can go see it if you have Regal Unlimited.
AMC Subs A-List.
We are not sponsored by AMC or Regal.
We're not here for this.
All right, John.
Okay. Knock at the Cabin. M. Night's possible apology for Old. I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's terrible. Another M. Night Shyamalan movie has been released, and everyone kind of waits with bated breath to see if this is yet another horrible film that adds to his multitude of bad movies, or if it's a good film that is a pleasant surprise. I would say that this film leans towards the latter. I would say that all the performances are quite good. Bautista, Groff, and Aldridge are certainly the standouts here. But Grint, Amuka Bird, and Quinn all do a relatively good job with the material. The biggest problem I have in terms of the characters and acting, as many have said, is the very stilted dialogue, which is an M. Night staple. I don't know if it got better as time went on or if I just got used to it, but I did notice that mainly at the beginning of the film. I thought the cinematography was genuinely fantastic, but that should not be surprising, as Jaron Blaschke, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, was the cinematographer, and he has done every Robert Eggers film thus far, and those films should also speak for themselves. The score from, again, probably going to butcher this, Herdis Steffendotter, I am, again, butchering, apologies to everyone involved, was also very good. Subtle and not in your face, but gives you that uneasy feeling. Has a bit of weird editing choices throughout the film, but I feel like that was intentional for the more jarring tone. Speaking of, that was easily one of, if not the best parts of the film. The tone was so unsettling, tense, and uncomfortable. There was just this brilliant feeling of unease that I haven't felt watching a horror film in such a long time. Maybe it's just the bare bones nature of it. Maybe it's just so grounded that I felt more connected to it and thus felt more disturbed by it. I have no idea. But I just really liked the unsettling nature of it. I also liked what little gore there was in the movie, that they didn't show it. I know everyone says that was a negative, but I actually really liked it. It didn't, for me, it didn't feel like M3gan, where they have to go out of their way to cut out the gory bits to get it down to a PG-13. This felt like a proper creative choice from Shyamalan. Whether he was trying to show restraint or it was the showcase that the gore wasn't the point of the deaths in the film, I really respect that choice. I also really like how the twist wasn't really a twist. It wasn't the typical overdone Shyamalan-esque twist. He was dead the whole time. They call me Mr. Glass. It was plants the whole time. It was water killing the aliens the whole time. It was insert bullshit thing here. It wasn't this big, overly dramatic twist. I really liked it. It just felt like a logical conclusion that it leads either here or there. I really, really liked that. I was expecting the Shyamalan twist. Like when we were in the climax of the movie, I was like expecting like, okay, what's the overly like fucking annoying twist? But I was very happy he didn't do that. A negative, I will say, what Devin and Rob have said before, is the forced diversity. Like this, when I was watching it, it felt like this was written, even though the book came out in like 2018. It felt like this was written in the late 2000s, where we were just starting to, as a society, because we do live in a society, starting to accept gay people for who they were, but didn't know how to execute that. Like we wanted to, okay, we're more accepting, but we didn't know like how to show that or write that properly. So with that, like when you have like this same-sex couple in this movie, and whenever they brought that up, it felt really awkward. It felt like I feel like we're past this. We're past this, like, oh, like they hate us because of blah, blah, blah. It just felt like, come on, I hate to be like insert current year here type of thing, but like it's 2023. It's not as, it's still a very big deal, but it's not as like this huge, crazy like thing that the film is trying to portray, I will say. But overall, let's try to wrap this up. I'm sorry, I like to hear myself talk. Overall, I thought this was a very well done horror thriller. I thought it nailed the tone, the atmosphere, most of the performances, and many of the technical aspects. Some negatives are that the dialogue was very stilted, some weird editing choices. There were some pacing issues at some points, although very few and far between, as well as some weirder moments and the forced diversity at points. But overall, this was a nice surprise when I didn't expect much from it. And with that, I will give it a 7.5 out of 10.
All right, Mark.
And then there was one going last, as I always love. Save the best for last. Shyamalan is an undeniably talented filmmaker with some undeniable flaws. Thus, the wild swings in quality from the highs of Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Split to the lows of that film which shall not be named. Thank you very much. The Village and The Happening. Wait a minute. Maybe the problem is films with "the" in the title. Maybe he should stay away from those. Anyway,
The
this
Sixth
made me-
Sense.
yeah. Well, okay, fair enough. The exception that proves the rule. Anyway, this made me feel less enthusiastic about this film, of course, but I was pleasantly surprised to find one of his most quietly tense thrillers in years. The best part about this film is the slow way it skillfully builds tension, keeping you on the edge of your seat throughout, literally true in my case. M. Night Shyamalan proves he is still a master of suspense by creating a moody, high-stakes atmosphere. He doesn't do it with a lot of blood or violence, although there is that, but he dampens it down somewhat to de-emphasize the gore in favor of good old-fashioned, tried-and-true techniques of filmmaking, such as nerve-wracking scenes, excellent acting, great cinematography, and an understated score that heightens the anxiety without being intrusive. Jonathan Groff as Daddy Eric, Ben Aldridge as Daddy Andrew, and Kristen Cui as their daughter Juan provide the beating heart of the film. I did not feel, honestly, that the diversity was forced because I thought it was integrated well into the plot. Because, yes, even though we're more accepting of gays, you do have some people like the redneck in the bar or Andrew's boomer parents who still have old-fashioned views. So they have seen some of the worst of humanity. And plus, it heightens the stakes because having seen some of the worst of humanity, they have to make the choice to save some of those same people, to sacrifice somebody they love to save everybody, including those bad people, which is why understandable why Andrew has such a negative outlook on humanity. But Dave Bautista does an outstanding job making a Hulk-sized second-grade teacher absolutely believable with his gentle but firm manner as the leader of the Mysterious, which you can especially see in his wonderful interactions with the daughter, Juan, but also as the leader of this mysterious fanatical foursome who invades the cabin on a seemingly non-outlandish mission. Such a wild premise could easily come across as silly, but Bautista and his co-stars, Rupert Grint as Redmond, Abby Quinn as Adrian, and Nikki Amuka-Bird as Sabrina, did a great job selling it while leaving enough room for doubt to keep it interesting. Perhaps most admirably, M. Night resists the temptation to add one of his signature twists, instead letting the plot unfold in a more natural way that doesn't feel forced. The only sort of thing he puts in there feels more like misdirection, such as whether or not Rupert Grint's character is the same as Redmond, is the same as the redneck who attacked him in a bar years ago. It feels more like misdirection than more like classic misdirection than an actual traditional forced heavy-handed Shyamalan twist. As a thriller, honestly, this ranks with some of his best works, very reminiscent of The Sixth Sense in that sense, or at least it should. But, and it's a very big but, thank you very much. Got it, Bette Midler. Where the film fails, in my opinion, not totally, but just enough to keep it just below his top tier films, is in the premise. Spoiler alert here, but I agree with what Daddy Andrew said right from the outset. The world is not worth killing one of my family members. Quite frankly, I would rather have seen them tell the world to go to hell and stay together as a family. I don't think it's fair or admirable or praiseworthy to have the good people sacrifice to save all the bad people. I know all of humanity isn't bad, but let's face it, there are a lot of them. I don't like it in a religious context, and I don't like it here either. Let's face it. Andrew was right that humanity kind of sucks anyway. Sorry, not sorry, but if the fate of the world rested on me killing someone I love, like my kids, I'm a single dad, you'd all be dead meat. So let's hope it doesn't come to that. But let me get off my little soapbox and wrap up this review. It's gone on long enough. Even for all that, I still really like the film. Ironically, the fact that I didn't like the ending only testifies to just how good of a job the actors did, making me vested in their characters. This may not be top tier Shyamalan, but it is still very good Shyamalan, and I hope to see a lot more like it. And that's my review. Oh, and my rating is a 7 out of 10.
Okay. I was waiting for you to say what your rating was before I put it up. Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
No, Mark, your reviews don't go on for too long.
Okay. Yeah. I was worried that
it was one time. It was one time, and that was it. You're good. It's fine.
You're fine.
Well, I just didn't want to, hog all the space. But
yeah.
I think that was because I added a part there, but I mean, because I expected it to be shorter than it was, but that's the only reason why. But yeah, but honestly, no, I didn't feel the divorce too first. I thought he did a good job integrating.
I think forced diversity is sort of the wrong word for it. I don't think it was forced. It just felt like out of place. Like it almost didn't feel like, as I said, it felt like it was like written in like the mid to late 2000s, where it was just like, oh, hey, we need to talk about this because it's something it needs to be talked about. Yeah. When we're kind of just at this point kind of past that. Like, yes, you still have assholes, but for the most part, I think it's, I hate to make it sound like a trend because it's not a trend, but in terms of like what's in and out, no pun intended. But great movie, by the way. Anybody who hasn't seen In and Out, great movie. But like the gay people is like kind of out. It's more like, I feel like it's more trans people that are dealing with a lot of the hate now, more really so than gay. I'm not saying gay people, they're carefree, they don't have anything to worry about. Right. I mean, but in terms of like what is going on in the world right now, in terms of that, it's that. Yeah. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about
No.
I just wanted to get that out really quick.
No, I got you.
We got you.
It was just noticeable when it didn't.
Add one thing. I think it works in Andrew's case because it was his parents. It was mainly his parents in that one little incident. But I mean, it was his parents specifically. Having grown up with bad parents like that, I can see him, having such a negative outlook.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, so I kind of brought up the ending to the book. I looked up the ending to the book.
Yeah, we might, if anybody wants to read the book, we might spoil it. We might not. Just clarifying, if you are inspired by the movie and want to read the book, probably don't.
You probably want to you probably would want to step away for 5 minutes or so.
What is the name of the book? Yeah, I forget what was
the name of the book.
The name of the book, Cabin at the World. Cabin at the End of the World. Yeah.
Cabin at the End of the World. That's right.
Yeah, and pretty much the first half of the book is relatively the same. Well, the second half differs majorly.
Yeah. Shh, let me talk. So, the one that dies is Wen.
Yeah.
And she's not even the one. She's not even like sacrificed. She's accidentally shot and killed
in the scuffle.
Yeah.
With Leonard and Eric.
And that didn't count as the sacrifice.
Wait, what? Oh, that's
That didn't count.
She wasn't a willing sacrifice. She was just killed in a scuffle. So Eric and Andrew, they still have to die.
Jeez.
And so they're
After
like
that, I would lose any will to do it.
And even then, they still don't. Even then,
they still don't do it. Yeah, it's pretty much like if they're not willing, if they don't want to like cater to a god. I think it was the way it's worded is like they don't want to cater to a god that took their daughter away from them. So fuck them.
Yeah,
exactly. That's true.
That would have been a much better ending.
That would have been.
But Devin, I'm actually surprised that you would want to go for that since you're Mr. I hate how everything is the villain wins now. So that would be kind of the villain wins now ending. Yet you're the one. preferring that.
Well,
So
no, that would
But
be
here's the thing:
protagonist
they're
for me, I
not.
would say.
They're not these guys. These people. They're not villains.
Yeah.
I know they're not villains, but you're Mr. The villain always wins. There's always the bad ending.
But they're
Oh.
not the villains, though. I mean, that's the
I
point.
know.
They're not.
I'm just
But I
saying,
mean, it
like,
seems to me.
I get your point. I get what you're saying, John. So
It seems to me that
yeah.
I get what John's saying, but I mean at the same time, it seems to me just that this is the villain's winning because the villain is a god who would make them make such a choice in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus, that's horrible. Does somebody have
Yeah.
to do that?
I kind of like that. I prefer the ending of the movie. Just, yeah, sure, it might be safe and a little bit of like, I like how it's bittersweet, but not like, it was nice that it was like prevented. Like, I kind of like that. Like, it was like the hope for.
I think you need that. I think audiences would have rejected it if they had done that in the movie. Honestly,
Yeah,
I can see why. I mean, it's not a bad ending at all either. I mean, I do like what they did with them at the end. You know, so hey, see you later, Rome. We got you.
See ya.
See ya.
Later, brother.
Later.
And then there were 4.
All right, audience. Audience watching. One of you must make the choice. Just saying, I did call them being like, oh, they're gonna be the four horsemen of the apocalypse, aren't they? And as soon as I think it was Eric that said it, I'm like I knew it. I fucking knew it.
my dad called
yeah.
who was going to be sacrificed. He actually.
I think we all kind of figured who was going to be.
I actually,
yeah, we all
thought it was
did.
I thought it was going to be Aldrich's character because they kind of set up him as like, oh, he's the angry one. He kind of hates the world.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I don't want to say the bad one, but like the more flawed one. So they would get rid of him. But that's just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, but I think it made sense to be Eric. Eric was the
Idiot.
More hopeful.
The hopeful
more
kind.
spiritual
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Yeah. It
Spiritual
does make
one.
more sense.
Yeah.
So.
Made sense.
And something I did find kind of funny, and we know what it is. Like when Leonard asked, "What's your favorite movie?" Kiki's Delivery Service. I'm like, yeah, I know Rob's gonna appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was wondering when someone was going to bring that up.
Jack pointed
Yeah,
that
pretty
out.
much.
Jack was like, that's Sissy's favorite movie. Jack, what'd you think of the film, bud?
Penis.
Really?
All right,
Okay.
What'd you think of the film?
Jack's review. Penis.
He said he liked the film. He said he would give it an 8. So
Mm.
he really
All right.
liked it.
yeah, my mom wasn't sure how she felt about it. She said she would have to watch it again.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I don't blame her. That might be a movie you'd have to see like more than once.
I had
or-
to see it twice. I saw it like once Thursday night, and then I saw it again like earlier today with my brother.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I think like after the first viewing, I'm like, yeah, I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it. I don't need to go to the theater again to see it.
Yeah.
Like I get this.
yeah.
Yeah, same here.
It was
My
very.
dad really liked it too.
I thought it was very easy to follow personally.
True. I mean, it's good to see him putting out good movies again. A good movie, anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, gives me some hope for the future for him. So I mean,
Oh yeah.
let's see where it goes.
Let's
Hopefully,
see.
he builds on that. You know,
What would you guys say was your? I mean, I know this is kind of a low bar, but what would you guys say was your favorite Shyamalan movie?
Makes sense.
Unbreakable.
I probably would say either Unbreakable or Split.
I'm kind of torn. I think Unbreakable is my favorite, and you know, as far as Sixth Sense, maybe his best. It's definitely his most iconic.
Yeah.
But Unbreakable is my personal.
I really enjoyed The Sixth Sense, even though I do think it is a bit overrated. So, I mean, I like the film. I just wouldn't say it was
like a ton of bricks. It was
Yeah.
extremely popular back then.
I'm not taking that away from it.
Oh, I know you
And
did.
as-
I remember.
You're old enough to remember that, Rob. I mean,
I remember seeing. I was like, I didn't see it in the theater, but I do remember seeing it with my older brother and my mom, and I was like 10 years old when
Yeah.
when we watched it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it so many years later, and
Yeah.
I knew the twist already, so it was kind of interesting to see the movie. I mean, because it's such an iconic twist that, like, obviously, but it was interesting to watch it, like, knowing the twist to see, okay, does this still work? And it still works.
Yeah.
Like, even knowing, like, you notice, like, all the little things, like the writing tricks and all that shit, to see how, like, it works out, and it's very smartly showcased and whatnot. I think he did a really good job with that.
I think Unbreakable is his.
Yeah.
It's still the best comic book. It
is one of them.
It is a comic book film.
It is. I'm classifying it as a
well
comic
done.
book film. And I'll be honest with you, I actually surprisingly like Glass. So
I love Glass.
I really enjoy Glass.
I don't think it's as good as Unbreakable or Split, but it's good.
Same.
Yes,
I do think
same here.
Like, it does have some problems, like the third act twist with, like, this secret society comes out of nowhere. Even though I did kind of like that, I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It still is like, okay, it still, like, comes totally fucking out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't like. I thought it was. I like overall. Like, it was kind of what I kind of liked about it, because he's making Glass in a post MCU world, and I like how, like, he tries to, again, in a proper way. Ryan Johnson, he's trying to subvert expectations, like, in, like, okay, this is what people are expecting, but, like, let's try to, and he makes it work. Like, I don't mind that David Dunn, like, dies by puddle. I didn't mind that. Like, that was not like this. Everyone's like, oh my god, that was the dumb. It's like, it's his weakness. That's his one weakness, and it makes sense that it's like this small thing that kills this, the overseer or whatever he was called. I kind of appreciate it. It was sad because he's such a great character, but it was like, it made sense. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just like, the fact that it made sense pissed me. I don't know, but maybe people just like to be pissed off over shit. Again,
I mean, I can understand that why people are pissed about it. I mean, even though I'm like you, I mean, it does make sense, Part of me kind of would, but part of me was also like, no, it kind of makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, but but I would say Glass is more like this, kind of maybe a flawed masterpiece, sort of, True masterpieces are clearly,
although I do appreciate.
Sorry. Sixth Sense. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I did appreciate that. Like, I know it's, like, hard to talk about now because of his diagnosis, but it was nice to see, like, Bruce Willis giving, like, in the last couple of years, like, giving a really good performance of, like, this character, this underrated character. Like, it was nice to see, because I know he did a lot of bargain bin stuff for a good reason, yes, so I will give him that. But it was nice to see, like, him teaming up with M Night once again, and M Night delivering what we wanted to see for years, and it just incorporate that. It just, like, it felt nice. It was nice.
Well, I mean, Split did such a great job. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite M Night twist at the end. There,
I love.
Oh my god, I just went.
Yeah, I had that ruined for me too, but it was still great to see him. But like, Bruce Willis, great actor when he can be.
Supposed to be,
but James McAvoy, that is on another
crushed
fucking
as Kevin Wendell Crumb.
I will go as far as to say he is one of this generation's greatest actors.
Thank you. Yes,
I would agree with that. I would agree.
I'm not saying that like you guys expecting to see. He's just so.
Yeah,
he is.
He just, like, I don't know. It's just like, I think a friend of mine has said, like, he's like a chameleon. He just blends so easily. Like,
I mean, and And the thing is the fact that he had a very difficult task when it comes to Split, because he was trying to act out like multiple personalities.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
him, and I think two other actors also did this very well. I think currently, if anybody watches it, Diane Guerrero as Crazy Jane on Doom Patrol also does various
really
personalities.
good.
It's not as like quick and it's not as layered, but it's still very good. I think she does an excellent job. And then Rose McIver on iZombie. I know, silly CW show, yes, but she also did a really good job playing essentially a different character each episode based on what brain she eats. She did that very well. Like, those are the three. I mean, obviously McAvoy is the best of those three, but I think those two actresses also did a really good job of doing.
I mean, McAvoy impressed me early. There had been a film before this I saw him in. I can't remember, but I saw him. I remember him Last King of Scotland. He was so damn good in that. He managed to hold his own beside Forrest Whitaker in that. I mean, that's
is a movie impressive. I really want to watch, but also really don't want to watch.
Oh, seriously? It's one of the most
because my parents have said excellent movie, would never watch again.
Yes,
that is like it's one of those movies. Like,
you do not want to watch that. No, he is. Forrest Whitaker is absolutely terrifying in that movie. He just becomes Idi Amin. Yeah. One of the more frightening 20th century dictators.
Looks like that's another one I had to watch because it's weird to say I'm fascinated by dictators.
Oh yeah. You gotta see it's definitely one to watch. I mean, he really just. I mean, Forrest Whitaker does his thing, and James McAvoy does too, and he's really good. I mean, that was when I knew that's like, this guy's going to be big. He's so good. So I mean, I can't remember the name of the film I had seen him in before that, but I mean,
Atonement. That was another big one he did. That was World War II, it was World War II because he was a soldier in World War II. Keira Knightley was in it. I don't know if that's the one you were talking about. That was like another major one he did. My sister.
It was before Last King of Scotland. I can't remember what it was. It was a small one, I think. Okay. But I mean, but I remember seeing him in that. I'm like, I'm glad to see him because I liked him in such and such. But I mean, but Last King of Scotland was the first one I know. And when he was cast as Professor X, I was ecstatic. It's like, this guy's great. He's gonna
he was. I mean, it's a shame that those fucking movies went down the shitter.
God.
But he and Fassbender were always excellent.
Oh yeah,
like no matter what.
Yes, because I mean, in the X-Men films, everybody wants to give credit to Logan. Say Logan did not carry those films. He didn't carry the first film. What the best part about the first film and about same thing is the best part about First Class.
Yeah,
they established the relationship between Magneto and Professor X.
Yes,
that was the beating heart of the first film.
Exactly.
The fact that like what they did in First Class, like they managed to fucking get two amazing actors to parallel to also amazing actors just as well, maybe even better according to some people. I don't know. It's, to be fair, I saw as we did that X-Men rewatch a couple months ago, or well, for you guys rewatch, for me it was watch, but how I hadn't seen the original trilogy because I don't like to support Bryan Singer any way I can. But
fair enough.
But the thing is, I more so grew up with the Fassbender McAvoy team, so I kind of like them a little bit more. That may be like rose-tinted glasses nostalgia. But I mean, both of they are some of the greatest actors of their respected generations.
Seeing them
McAvoy, McKellen, and Stewart are all so fucking exceptional. I know the fucking MCU is gonna fucking screw it up. They're gonna get some fucking they'll
get somebody from Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, or Euphoria.
They'll have.
Yeah, I don't. Although to be fair, Tom Holland did win us over eventually with No Way Home, so it's entirely possible that eventually. But I'm just done with that. So it's
Tom
whatever.
Holland can
but-
actually act, though. I mean,
Yeah, that's fair. But because I remember hearing, again, it was a bullshit rumor. It could be like absolute total bullshit. But I heard that like Giancarlo Esposito wanted to be Professor X. And I'm like, I love the man. He can do. And to be fair, I would love to see him do more heroes because the man does we know he can do villains.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And I would love to see him as more heroes, just not in the MCU.
yeah, no.
No.
Honestly,
Imagine
I
him
would.
cracking MCU quips.
Honestly, I know I'm
Not-
tired of,
A joke every 5 minutes.
I know everybody's tired of seeing them, and even though I've sworn off the new DC films, but I mean, I would still kind of, in the back of my mind, honestly, deep down, I would really kind of love to see him as Lex Luthor. Even though I know everybody's sick of Luthor, and I understand why.
I
Tired of
do-
Luthor.
I do see, but I will take your Lex Luthor and raise you a Hugo Strange.
That would be awesome.
That'd be great too.
Give us Hugo Strange in a movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hang on,
I think
let
it was either Nando's or Troy Oboyo 17's. One of them did a pitch of Batman 2, and they had him as Hugo Strange. I'm like, yes, vindication! Somebody
Hang on,
gave
hang
me
on.
that. I have been paying Giancarlo Esposito for Hugo Strange for fucking years, and I'm so glad somebody gave me that.
Okay,
So,
John.
yes.
John, I got this to say about that statement.
It's just like he would be so good, and I've also seen him as Mr. Freeze too, and I think he could pull that off. But Hugo Strange, I think, would be just perfect. He would be so perfect.
Oh yeah, I would love to see a live action Hugo Strange.
Here's my thing about.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just one more thing before you say something. I just think he would do a quieter, reserved villain more, and I think I would want for me personally, when Lex Luthor, I want to see a Lex Luthor, when he enters the room, everybody turns their heads, and he owns that. Like that's a Lex, and I feel like
he
Giancarlo
basically is a
Esposito,
voice.
I think he could do that, but I want to see someone who can drip authoritative ego like it's his fucking job. And I think Michael C. Hall could do that very well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my thing about he's basically playing Luthor in The Boys. Lex Luthor
Pretty
in The
much.
Boys.
Yeah.
But I mean, my idea is if you're gonna you can't not have Lex Luthor. So the way you use him, to me, keep him in the background. Keep him in the back.
Thank you.
Same with
have him
Joker.
be the ultimate mastermind. And don't reveal him until like the last film.
Yeah, that would be great.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And use his. You could just use his henchmen. I mean, he tries to get it back. Because it ran through Metallo, Parasite.
Yeah.
Just borrow from Earth One. That was a great fucking series.
It was.
Earth One.
I mean, Man of Tomorrow already did it, so
Yeah.
So what? Yeah. Why not?
So kind of going back on like Shyamalan.
Yeah, we just kind of just went on this fucking tangent.
Yeah,
Sorry,
because you brought up like comic book movies, so we start talking
Yeah,
about
we gotta fucking talk about.
We started with talk about Unbreakable. I think that's where it started. But
it was Unbreakable.
Unbreakable is one of the. I don't know if it's the best, but it is definitely one of the best comic book movies not based on a comic book. Iron Giant's up there, and RoboCop is also up there.
Yes. Oh God, yeah, RoboCop.
Oh yeah. Oh
yes.
Oh yeah.
I just watched RoboCop earlier this week, as a matter of fact, John, because just out of random, because I was like, damn, I want to watch something. And like, RoboCop was the first thing that come to mind. I just wanted to watch something fun.
Oh yeah.
I was actually watching something, and Peter Weller was a guest star. I was watching. Watching Monk. I don't know why I was possessed to. Yeah. I went back and it was free on Prime, and this was like from months and months ago. I started watching, and then I took a break. And then one of the newer one of the episodes I started watching, Peter Weller was. I'm like, hey, there he is, RoboCop, fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
But anyway,
going
back to Shyamalan.
Go on.
Anyway, what was everyone's first Shyamalan movie? Mine was Signs.
The Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Like I said, I was 10 years old when I saw that movie.
I'm old enough. I still, yeah, it was Sixth Sense.
I don't know which one I
That film
saw
was so big,
first,
too.
if it was Sixth Sense or Unbreakable. I want to say six. Hold on, let me look up his filmography real quick.
Yeah.
Because
Just
I had
wanna
I
You know
had
what?
both
You know what
Signs-
my first was? It was probably Last Airbender because I saw that in the theater.
Oh,
So
That's a
hold
bad
on.
start.
Let me wait.
Poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need.
And feel free to.
oh,
Phantom
you
Zone
just,
me
I'm
for
about to say
mentioning
you
the
just
name.
mentioned it.
Yeah,
And-
feel free to-
and
I'll
because-
take the
and-
Phantom Zone. It's fine.
And because you mentioned it,
Because I had Signs and Sixth Sense on VHS. I
I'll
watched
take
Signs
it.
constantly.
I hate that movie. It honestly, it was my least favorite movie.
Yeah.
Until Taika Waititi's just had to make
Anyway,
that would be
that
that would be-
movie that other
Yeah.
movie that shall not be named.
I was gonna say I would agree with you, John, that thing that shall not be mentioned. It is the worst thing that Shyamalan ever did for me because he butt fucked a great show.
I'm a fan of the show. Yeah, sure you are. Yeah, okay.
Tell
and
that
The
to-
Rock is a
tell
fan
that
of
to Rob.
Black Adam.
Tell that to Rob Zombie. But anyway, as I was saying,
No, Mark has something to say first.
no, I was still. I
Go
was,
ahead, Sid, go ahead.
Go on,
Okay,
Devin.
go ahead.
I watched Signs. I watched Signs a lot on VHS. That movie scared my brother.
Yeah.
Like that. Like when the alien walks on camera, that part traumatized him.
Scared the shit out of me. Yeah.
I still, despite its flaws, I still like Signs.
Mm.
If not for the ending, it'd be maybe his best film. It is damn good. 99% of that film is damn good.
I mean, it does have
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix, so you're kind of, a little
Yeah,
bit
true.
biased there, Mark.
Yeah, exactly. And Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson actually gives a really good performance.
But Mark, what were you gonna
They
say?
can't get through pantry
I was going to
doors.
say, first of all, just an interjection before. This is not what I was going to say, but I think The Happening is still worse than That Which Shall Not Be Named.
What's
But-
going on? And
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait, let me get it.
Give you a math problem.
What's going on?
Hot dogs are very misunderstood.
But I mean,
I like
what
the
I was
shape.
going to say was, can we talk about some of his films that are kind of in the middle? Like honestly, The Lady in the Water, I didn't think was that bad.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen that
it's
one.
funny because I actually told my coworker a couple days ago, like the day before I went to go see Knock at the Cabin. She's like, "Oh yeah, worst Lady in the Water." She's like, "I fucking hate Lady in the Water." And I know Doug Walker also really hates.
I
Lady in
know
the
I
Water,
had
too.
never seen. I had never seen that film. I avoided it, John, like the plague, because that's all I heard. All I heard was that okay, this is his worst fucking film. So I was like, I'm never gonna watch that. And just one night, I was just like, what the hell ever. I'll just watch it and see how bad it is.
Honestly,
I thought,
I am
it's
still
not that
interested
bad.
in The Village because I know, to be fair, it's mixed. It has a bit of a cult following because
Yeah.
the thing is, from what I've heard, it was mismarketed.
Yeah.
That especially after Signs, it was marketed as a horror film when it was a romantic drama with horror elements.
Yeah.
So I am curious to see that. Plus, it's got Joaquin Phoenix, who I do like. I know he's not my favorite actor like Mark's, but I also like Bryce Dallas Howard.
She's good.
Yeah.
She's
a couple
actually
of the
good.
other actors,
Yeah.
and so I am intrigued to see it. So
Mhm.
that's still on the list.
She
but
was good in The Lady in the Water too. Actually, I thought she was.
Want to know one?
Paul Giamatti was too. I thought.
You want to know something funny? I actually almost saw After Earth for a birthday one year. What happened was because the thing is, this was a properly marketed movie. They didn't show that M Night Shyamalan was the director in any of the marketing.
I didn't know.
I didn't realize it was an M Night Shyamalan movie. Then I looked it up because I was looking up showtimes. And I'm like, Dad,
but it still looked bad.
M Night Shyamalan directed After Earth. We're not seeing
I have
it.
not. I have not seen that one. I have not seen After
I have
Earth.
not
I have
seen
not
it
seen
either.
Lady in the Water, and I have no intention of seeing The Visit because I fucking hate found footage movies.
The Visit's a good one.
Oh.
The Visit, okay, Devin, I am with you. I don't like found footage movies. The Visit is a good found footage movie. It's not. It's kind of like Knock at the Cabin. It's not one of his all-time great movies, but it is retrospective of his work, how he kind of makes fun of himself and satirizes his work. It's got a good twist. It is the unfortunate part. It is filled with a lot of jump scares. Yes.
Okay.
Oh God.
But I will say the overall plot is very good. It's not perfect. I would give it like a firm 7. Everyone gives a good performance. The young kid, he like raps a lot for some reason. That was kind of dumb. But like it's flawed, don't get me wrong, but it is uncomfortable and it's very creepy. And I do like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Visit either. Going back to After Earth, I thought After Earth was boring. I don't know about you guys. I thought it was really boring.
I never saw it because I didn't realize at the time that it was an M Night Shyamalan film. It still looked
just
bad
looked like a cool movie with Will and Jaden Smith.
But I mean, I just thought it looked bad. Even so, I mean, even so, it like the trailers and everything. It's like this just looks bad. I just got a bad. Feeling about it.
And you,
although I am curious about Servant, his Apple TV show. I've heard that's very good with Toby Kebbell and Rupert Grint. I've heard that's very good, so I do want to check that out.
Yeah, I've heard that's good.
Yeah,
too.
I don't know why. For the longest time, I thought Devil was directed by M Night Shyamalan.
No, he just produced it.
He produced it. He didn't direct it.
Remember, Jelly Side Down. He's around.
And that's another movie I have not seen.
That would be a good bad movie roast if we watch Devil. That would be funny.
That would be awesome to do.
But yeah, the thing is, I don't think he's a bad filmmaker. He's just he can get a little far.
He's inconsistent.
Exactly. He's very inconsistent. So
very inconsistent. Yeah, he's talented, but flawed.
He's not the next Spielberg, but
I don't know where anybody even got that from.
There was an article written in some magazine, I think it was like Time or something, where it was like him. It was just when Signs was coming out, where they're like the next Spielberg ?
Yeah,
he was on a hot streak though.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean,
it had 3 hits in a row. The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs, and all of them had great reviews. You know, I mean. The only flaw in Signs, of course, was that bad twist. But even so,
it was Newsweek. I apologize. It was Newsweek.
Yeah.
But by the way,
back then.
Yeah. By the way, is it a little funny that out of all of the movies for the cool kids that I hosted, the best one is a Shyamalan movie?
Well, when the others are fucking The Rock and what was the other one you did? Mediocre Disney, like, are you really
Strange
surprised?
World, Black Adam, and Babylon?
Yeah, really.
Oh,
and to be fair,
I still haven't finished that.
And to be fair, John, Babylon was your idea.
It looked good. Okay, don't at me. It was fucking Damien Chazelle. He was done good movies before. Fuck off.
Honestly, that film did have all the elements of a great film.
I know your review was fucking perfect. Like you perfectly stated everything that was wrong with it, everything that could have worked, and everything that didn't. It was.
I appreciate it, man.
It's a fascinating failure.
Check out his review of Babylon. It's really good.
Thank you, man. So I think it'll win. It'll probably win.
It'll win a couple Oscars. I think it's not a the thing is, it's not a horrible movie.
No, it's really not. No.
Like it's technically well made. It's got good. It could win costumes. I think it could. Win
I think it probably could win costumes. So
or production design in general. I don't know.
Design, I can see that.
Design, so.
Yeah, they tend to like
movies about
period
themselves.
pieces anyway, which that is
period piece and movies about themselves. Although La La Land did, that was kind of the exception because everyone thought La La Land was going to win.
Yeah,
but then people thought it won for like 5 minutes, but then it turned out to be Moonlight. I still think his best movie is Whiplash, though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna lie. I still have non-flashbacks of the fucking elephant scene. That was so goddamn stupid. Like,
I turned away. Luckily, you guys warned me about it, so I turned away. I didn't see. I just
God.
saw the ass, and I'm like, nope.
It was worse than I imagined. Like, oh my God, right on the fucking
why?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you doing this?
Why? What what the hell? It's just, is that supposed to be some kind of metaphor for? And then with the woman pissing on the man and him begging for it, is Piggy like that? Is that supposed to be some kind of?
And then this was pretty much all. This was pretty much all of our reactions after seeing the juvenile humor in Babylon.
What the fuck is this?
What's so funny is that like there wasn't a lot of it though. There was like maybe
there
a
really
couple
wasn't.
scenes, but the thing is they were unfortunately so memorable that we thought it was filled to when it was really those 3 scenes. It was the poop scene, the pee scene, and one more scene.
The
vomit
scene.
It got the trifecta, and that was it.
Yeah. The vomit scene at the first mention. Yeah.
All right, so we've reached the hour mark, so we better go ahead and start wrapping it up. So,
yeah, sorry we kind of went on tangents, but I think we all just kind of perfectly said what Knock at the Cabin is. It's flawed, but it's very good. Like it's
exactly.
I felt it was a good, and I gotta always give props to movies that make me uncomfortable because even if it's just the slightest twinge of uncomfortable, like just chills on the spine, a little bit of a shakiness, like little edge on my seat, I gotta give them. I have to give them because the fact that somebody could do that, and especially having it be fucking Shyamalan, I give them props. And Dave Bautista was fucking excellent, and Groff and Aldrich were very good. The rest of the cast was very good. Bautista was fucking good.
I hope he gets more serious roles after this.
I pray to God I'm rooting for him, man. He is
seriously.
Like this was, I think this was the clincher for me. Like I knew he was a good actor, don't get me wrong, beforehand.
Yeah.
But like this, I don't know whatever the vice versa of nail in the coffin, because that insinuates bad. But like whatever, like the final like stretch of like going past the finish. This was for me going past the finish line for like super pro Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
This dude is a very good actor. I will say that. I will say he is a very good actor. Not exceptional. He's not like, James McAvoy or Denzel Washington or Tom Hanks, but he's
solid.
Very good. Maybe even great. We'll have to wait and see. But I could see even greatness.
Possibly, definitely so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I'm rooting for him, as you were saying. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, me too. And to any of our subscribers, if you noticed, after Megan, we took a bit of a break, but this month we're gonna be giving you a lot of reviews.
We are. So
our next one is hosted by Zach. It's gonna be a 25th anniversary stream of Titanic, but after that, we have reviews planned for Ant-Man 3, Cocaine Bear, even Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yes, I'm so looking forward.
Weird horror movies that shouldn't exist but exist. Also, Ant-Man.
And Titanic.
God,
I really want Cocaine Bear to be good. Like I'm
me
so.
Too.
Oh, me too.
Ready.
I mean, Jesus.
It honestly it looks just so batshit insane. I'm so looking forward to that.
I mean, come on! It can't be any worse than this. Am I right?
Rob, we're the smart ones. Fist bump.
Yeah.
Eh.
Here.
The worst viewing experience
There we
ever had
go.
in my life. It was
Buck Skinamarink.
Yep. And it's a shame because that's a really good title for a movie. It's so weird, and I love that they kind of ruined that fucking title, man.
Yeah. Okay. So
honestly, Infinity Pool should have been called Skinamarink because that makes more sense.
Well, anyway, that's our thoughts on Knock at the Cabin. So stay tuned next weekend for the 25th anniversary of James Cameron's Titanic, hosted by Zach. So, and until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Gross.
exactly.
Bye.
Bye.